As I'm sure you're well aware by now, we got a huge update in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 that added a whole lot of good stuff, and for free, might I add. So I wanted to make a video covering everything we got real quick, so that you kind folks can make sure you didn't miss anything. Now, there are 4 major things that were added with this update. Those things being Ultra Instinct, an increased level cap, Cross Verses, and the Festival of Universes. And I'm not going to go super in-depth into all of them in this video, as this particular video is meant to be more like a checklist. I've already made an in-depth video covering Ultra Instinct, so I'll leave a link in the description and a pinned comment. But I'm looking to make a strategy guide video on Cross Verses once I get more familiar with that game mode. And the Festival of Universes isn't fully operational yet in the sense that we can't earn glory points for our team. But once it opens up on Sunday, October 15th, I plan on figuring out how to efficiently earn glory points and share that info with you guys. Once those videos are out, I will add them to the description and the pinned comment. So, stay tuned. So first, let's quickly go over the new Awoken skill, Ultra Instinct. You can get it by fighting full-power Jiren, who is just past the multiplayer mode's NPC. If you don't see him, then you're probably gonna have to either advance the story or level up your character some more. At least, that's my best guess, as the game doesn't tell you exactly what you need to do to make him show up. And when I fought him, I was already level 99 with all my characters, and had the story beaten on the character I was playing as, so I'm gonna have to guess those are some kind of tying in factors, if anything. But anyway, Ultra Instinct doesn't provide any kind of stat boost, but it does have several unique features to it that makes it a lot of fun to use, even if it might not be the most practical. I'll show you what the description says here up on the screen right now. You can also equip it to any and all types of CACs, so it's more than worth picking up. Now, let's talk about the increased level cap. We can now level up our CACs to 120, and we can also put a maximum of 200 attribute points into our stats, as opposed to the previous 125. To unlock this cap increase, you need to purchase a parfait from the item shop for 100,000 Zenny and give it to Whis. You only have to do this process once, so once you've given Whis the parfait, all of your characters can be leveled up to 120. In order to get from level 99 to 120, you need 47,725,000 EXP, so naturally you're going to want to use Tosok for this process as much as possible. Levels 100 to 110 will cost you 200 TP medals a pop, with the amount increasing to 240 for all of the levels following, for a grand total of 4,600 TP medals for one character. So if you have 8 CACs and you want to get all of them from level 99 to 120, you'll need 36,800 TP medals. This isn't even taking into account the amount of TP needed to get from 80 to 99, which I believe is 920. So that adds up to 5,520 TP medals per CAC and 44,160 for all 8. And just so you know, you can't wish for level ups with the Dragon Balls past level 99. Moving on to the new Cross Versus mode, it's actually pretty fun. It's kind of a PvP meets PvE kind of game mode. You can compete in a 3v3 format, but if you don't fill all of the slots with players, they will be replaced with NPCs instead. The goal is to get to 12,000 points, or beat the boss before the opposing team. As of right now, I'm convinced that it's better to just go for the 12,000 points instead, as the area boss is actually a pretty tough AI. And while in the boss area, members of the opposing team can come in and mess with you, whereas in the mission areas, they can't. There are 3 ways to rack up points. You can break crystals and touch the light they leave behind for 200 points. You can activate circles of light, which will spawn in 10 orbs of light that you can collect for 10 points apiece, and upon collecting the 10th, you will also be getting an extra 300 points. You can also fight the enemies that spawn in that will give you an increasing number of points as time goes on. You will always start this game mode at level 1, and you can get up to a maximum level of 7 as you accrue points. Your ultimate attacks will not be equipped, but you can pick up random ones around the mission area. Other things that will not come into play in this game mode are your player level, attribute points, Super Soul, QQ Bang, or battle items. The last major thing that they added with this update is the Festival of Universes. You can choose between Universe 6, 7, and 11, and depending on which one you choose, you will get their respective uniform from Time-Space Delivery. You can go on to the special lobby by talking to the robot just behind the multiplayer mode's NPC, and once inside, you will notice reception counters for expert missions, raids, cross-verses, parallel quests, and 1v1s. I'm guessing you will have to use these particular counters as opposed to the ones in Canton City if you want to earn glory points. The Festival of Universes is not fully operational until October 15th, but you're still going to want to check out the rewards counter to get an idea of how many points you need in order to get rewards that you want. From what I can gather, so far you'll want to gather at least 3,500 on a weekly basis, and accumulate 47,000 over the course of the entire event, which seems like it's going to last about 9 weeks at a time. This seems to be where we're going to be getting the custom variations of a lot of characters' clothes, like Goku's Turtle Hermit Gi and King Kai's clothes, as well as most of the custom auras that we will be able to use in the overworld like Canton City. Now, that's pretty much all of the major stuff that you need to be aware of that's going on in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 as of this most recent update, but there are a few more small things that I'd like to cover just real quick, just so that way you are aware of them. Daily missions will now get you more TP medals, a total of 20 as opposed to only like 1 that they would give you before. They also did add custom auras like I mentioned a second ago. Seems like most of them are going to be obtained from the Festival of Universes, and it says that you can get them from other modes, but I'm not quite sure what they would be. I've done a fair bit of cross-verses, which is where I figured you would find them, but I haven't unlocked any yet. So what those other modes be, heck, your guess is as good as mine. You know, this might not be how we wanted these custom auras. We probably would have much rather applied them in battle, but hey, we get what we get, and beggars can't be choosers. One thing that I think is pretty interesting is they also made matchmaking lobbies more interactive. You can actually see and hang out and do emotes with people that you're waiting with for a lobby to fill up, so they're not quite so boring now. You can look up items in your bag, which goodness knows we needed with all of the hundreds and hundreds of piles of crap that we just have in there between our skills and super souls and equipment and clothes and all that jazz. You can play quests on easy mode now, which if these quests were hard for you before, then, well, hell, this is for you. If you're above level 60, you will have to pay a fee of a few TP medals, but if you're below level 60, you won't. Transfer shop clerks also have their own map icon, so they're a little bit easier to find now. And the game will show you more in-depth how equipment affects your stats. There's also a randomized moveset feature, which might get you to use some of those moves that you never or hardly ever used before. And that pretty much does it for this quick rundown of the most recent update that we got here in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Like I said, I'm looking to add more videos, a strategy guide for cross-verses, once I have a better understanding of the mode and come up with a good technique to get through it. Also, like I said, Festival of Universes isn't going to be opening up until tomorrow, so once we have more details on that, and I find the most efficient ways to accrue glory points, I'll be sure to share that information with you guys. But with all that being said, I think that's going to be about my cue to bounce. I certainly do hope you found what you were looking for in this video, and until we meet again, make sure you take care. See ya!